And not only is this motel run by space aliens, but one of them is stuck on the roof somehow. How do they get her down? Tiffany scares her by dangling from a line of web that's attached to nothing, and she just leaps to the ground.
Lucy, thank you so much.
And what's the moral of the story? If someone's in danger from falling off of a roof, just push them off. They'll be just fine. So this old grandmother alien is happy that her granddaughter is safe, and they let them stay in her room for the night. But she warns them to not turn on the TV. Why? Because it's a razor-toothed monster that'll stomp all over the room and destroy it if it is turned on. And no, this isn't some other freaky fabrication that Walt's been giving us. This is actually happening. Someone actually wrote that the TV comes to life and tries to eat everyone, and someone else was paid to animate this. And I'm completely out of booze. So our brave hero pig bails to let the aliens get eaten by the monster TV. Wow, there's a sentence I never thought I'd say. And they stop at a gas station where they somehow pump for gas without paying for it first. Gas pumps don't work that way. But when they leave without paying for the gas station attendant sends a couple of bazooka-wielding giant cockroaches to take them down. What is even the... I have no idea why this is happening. Moving on. They make it to Viperwood, and we then meet a friend of Neumann who, like everyone else in this movie, literally pops into the frame from out of nowhere. And her name is Venom. So yeah, Topher Grace is not the worst person in the world to have that name. Okay, I'll try to sum up as best I can here, because frankly I can't take much more of this. They take Walt to an audition for a play where he raps while wearing a fishbowl on his head, and he fails. They put him on a game show that features a flying paddle that spanks you if you get wrong answers, and he fails. They put him in a movie with Fedora wearing pogo bots, and he fails. Yeah, this pig fails at everything that you put him in. What the hell did Walt do to make Neumann think that representing him would be a good idea? Actually, let's look back at this game show for a minute.
Is an octopus brown, yellow, pink, or green?
Just say anything and smile. You're on TV.
What color is an octopus?
Walt, tell the truth. You don't know. Make something up. Any color, Walt.
I don't know.
It's a trick question. Octopi can change color, so they can be brown, yellow, pink, or green, or other colors too.
This movie wants to tell us that lying is bad, and then it gives us this little scenario where lying is actually the best thing to do. Thanks for the mixed signals there, movie. But Neumann has one more gig for Walt to try out. Where is it? The slaughterhouse, of course. And this is happening because, one, either this was Neumann's whole plan the entire time, making me ask why we didn't just come here in the first place instead of having to deal with a play, a game show, and a movie, or two, he actually did have great plans for Walt, and now he's only bringing him to the slaughterhouse just because he's sick of him and he wants to see him killed. I like to think it's number two. So Walt is hoisted up and is on his way to being dropped into a meat grinder, which is also a razor-toothed monster for some reason. How does he get out? The spiders show up to tell him to start wiggling, and then that stupid wasp stings Neumann, and Walt's just magically free without any explanation of how he freed himself.
I escaped somehow. Let's go.
The snakes disappear off screen, and Walt is ready to go back home, vowing to never lie again. And why is it wrong to lie?
A liar needs a really good memory.
Oh.
Like when you said your mother's pie was cherry, you didn't remember that only the pig who ate the pie would know that.
Yeah.
But you...
That's right. You should only lie if you have your story down to the point where you know you'll never get caught. Such an inspired message for the kids. But yeah, Walt makes it back safe and sound to the farm. And I gotta say, I am so relieved that Walt got out of that slaughterhouse. Now he can live happily on the farm until he gets sent to the slaughterhouse. Wait. But the movie's not over yet, as we see that Tiffany stayed behind in Viperwood to host that game show that Walt was on earlier.
If you paste two triangles together, what shape do you get?
Well...
Two triangles together is a circle.
A circle! circle. Venom, you are tripping and lying. Goodbye. When you combine two triangles, you get a diamond.
1. As you can see, putting two triangles together can make a ton of different shapes. This has got trick question written all over it. 2. Anyone who thinks that two triangles put together makes a circle is clearly someone who has special needs. So, our movie's voice of truth and reason makes fun of the mentally handicapped. How admirable! So that was Spider's Web, A Pig's Tale. And man, this was the longest 50 minutes of my life. The animation is some of the worst I've ever seen. The story's a pipe dream. The voice acting sounds like it was all done in one take. The music sounds like a series of keyboard demos. The character designs range from lazy to dear god what am I looking at. And it's completely pointless. It wants to tell kids that it's wrong to lie, and that's a good message, but the execution is just so painfully sloppy that you can't help but be reminded of how so many other kids' movies relay that message so much better than this. Although one good thing did come out of all this mess. Now that the movie's over, I feel like going to Wendy's and eating several Baconators just out of spite. See you later! Man, Walt is tasty.